Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. I had a little technical difficulty there. I forgot to hit the put on the stage switch button, whatever it is. I'm experimenting tonight. I'm using a different light, and so I've been trying to adjust things to make it look right. So if you see me look up and you see a reflection in my glasses, it's because I have a little light bar now above my laptop. The previous light that I had here was in the way and a big bulky thing, and it had to go. So I'm coming into the 20th century, I guess. So anyway, I hope you all have a had a good weekend, and I also hope that you're very interactive tonight with the live stream. Let me know if everything sounds okay. Like I said, I've been cleaning up the garage, organizing, moving things, and trying to make better use of the space that I have here, while also not trying to hang on to everything that I own or have ever owned. I've gotten rid of a bunch of stuff that I've had on my desk area, my bench area here, on my other bench where I do like my paint mixing and all that stuff. And I've organized a variety of areas throughout the shop. As you can see, that bench over there has not been addressed yet, but I'm not in a hurry for that one. It's kind of out of the way at the moment. And then the other stuff you see here behind me, this is all part of the TCI suspension kit for the Fangold Fastback. So I have started on that today. I've started attaching pieces and parts to get the front suspension on the Fastback. So I posted some pictures on Facebook. People have seen what I've been doing. And I'm making, of course, a video for the whole process. Now, I've done one of these before. When I did the Brooklyn Pony convertible, I addressed doing basically the same thing, only this kit is a little bit probably improved over that kit that I did several years ago. For one, I know that the front frame cross member, which is sitting back here, has a cutout for the oil pan, which when I did the other one, it didn't have that, or maybe the wrong kit was ordered. I don't know. But I'm hoping this one will work well with the Coyote engine that is sitting back here. So hopefully all of this interacts the way that it should, because that would be very nice if it did. So this kit comes with a variety of pieces and parts. So you have a main cross member. You've got some angle plates that go on the inside of the frame rails. They're 90-degree plates. You have exterior plates, and you have some that go at the bottom. So you have to do some adjusting and fitment to make all this stuff go together. And then, of course, welding. And I've said it before, welding is probably my favorite thing to do. So I'm really enjoying welding this heavy-duty metal. And as I've done this before, I'm using the Yes Welder DP200, and the thing is just fantastic. Just fantastic. I know I've used a variety of welders over the years. I've used a bunch of the Yes Welder, the Art Captain, but this DP200, I really like this thing. It's easy to set up, and it does a great job. So if you haven't already bought a welder, if you're looking for a welder, I usually have links in the description box down below the video. Some discounts available if you're so inclined to take a look at that. But that's where I've been. That's what I've been working on. Now, as I said before, I've been cleaning up and organizing, and we had Thanksgiving and all these different events going on. So I really wasn't doing a whole lot in the shop anyway. It just didn't make sense to start on something and then backtrack and change direction. And the idea with cleaning up around my lift in particular is part of it is safety, and just part of it is function. So when I'm trying to get around what's there and I'm tripping over things, it's not very helpful. And so I really was getting frustrated, and it just made perfect sense to take some time and organize these different things. Also, I should point out, I think I may have posted on a reel that I bought 2 quarter panels for the basket case Camaro. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to get moving on that car anytime soon. I was taking advantage of some pricing and bought the 2 quarter panels and another tail panel. As you know, if you've been following along with me, the basket case Camaro has been on the back burner for quite some time. And part of that reason was I had put on rebuilt the car, the structure of the car, and when I bought it, it came with pieces and parts. It came with quarter panels and sheet metal and these different things, but unfortunately they were different. Like the left quarter panel was made by one company and the right quarter panel was made by another company, and they didn't match to my liking. Most people probably would have just put them on and just ignored it. I can't do that. I like symmetry, and so I put it off until I was able to get a hold of some AMD quarter panels, which I used on the black Camaro that I did many years ago, and I was very happy with those. So I now have those quarter panels. At least I have them in my possession, and when I get the opportunity to roll that Camaro back in here, I should be able to get it back together and finish putting it, together as a complete car. But that's not the priority right now. The thing is, the priority is the 68 Fastback. So I'm looking forward to getting a lot done on that, and it is right now going nice and smooth, so which is the way I like things. Okay, so there you're caught up on the basics of what's been going on. We'll probably talk more about things as we move through the night. But if you're new to my channel or new to my live stream, we try to talk about classic cars. And for me, that is 1955 to 1980-ish is kind of my favorite time period. Sometimes we get other questions, or the people want. We try to answer them if we can, but generally we just talk about classic cars in that era. So if you have a question, or if you want to bring up a subject or something, by all means, I encourage you to do that. And if I can help you out, I will. If not, we have a great group of people in the chat box over there that will definitely chime in and help out. So let's see who's here tonight. The first one in was Richard Vogel. He was early today. He was here at 5:28 checking in. Good evening, Barry. Can't wait for tonight's show. Thank you, Richard. Glad you're here. Rick Gain, I need some good, relaxing talk. Too much is going on wrong lately. Glad you kept that piece of your shelf from your childhood. Yes. So I don't have a picture of it up here, but I've talked about it before. And Rick is also saying, sorry, and this is Rick, by the way. From what you have told us through stories, both you and Henry were very far from being considered dummies. Yes, I agree. And what I was talking about, I posted on Facebook, and I probably did some on Patreon as well. There was a shelf unit that we had in my dad's garage that was just this old metal, flimsy type of shelf, something very cheap that he bought probably in the 60s. And it was hanging in the back section of the garage, and it was above a bench. And I don't know if it had, I don't even know what was on it, like manuals or random stuff for sure. But at some point, my brother Henry had written on, I think it was the third shelf up, Barry is a dummy. And I was 6 years younger than him, so he might have been, I don't know, 12 or something, 13 when he did that. So I would have been 6 or 7, and I couldn't even reach the shelf. Like they were without doing something. And that, and I probably wasn't very good at writing. So it took probably 3, 4 years, 5 years later, I don't remember, I saw that there, and I got a black marker out, and I wrote on the next shelf down, Henry is a dummy too. And I spelled it correctly, T-O-O. And so that shelf has been a memory of me and my brother being in a garage. And I wanted to keep the shelf, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized I can't use a shelf for anything. And I don't need to hang on to this bulky, flimsy 4-shelf thing. So I took a cutoff wheel and I cut those pieces off of the shelf, both those shelves, and I screwed them to the bottom of a wooden shelf that I have. So I have those pieces, and the rest of it can go. That just doesn't matter. So I have those pieces. So yeah, and I would agree, Rick, that like he says, me and Henry, we're far from being considered dummies, and I agree with you. Thank you for that, Rick. Terry Keithley, good evening, everyone in Barry. Please hit the thumbs up and like button for Barry. Thank you kindly, Terry and Betty and the cats. Thank you, sir, and also Betty. Dave Tyson, good evening all. Evening, Dave. Whoop, wait, there we go. That's better. Jerry checking in from the Money Pit. Good evening to all from Middle Tennessee. Thumbs up for Barry. Thank you, Jerry. Hope you're doing well. Steve Reed. Hello, Barry, and everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's all give Barry a thumbs up. Yes, by all means, do that. That is something that helps the algorithm, as we all know. Currently have showing 49 people viewing. So I don't know if there's that many thumbs up yet, but give it a go. Hey, Matco man. Hello, everyone. Hopefully everyone is staying warm or staying harm. Wait, what? Staying harm and out of trouble. I think it means staying warm, but yeah. Welcome, Matco man. I do have the heater running. It's been moderate here in Georgia, so I think the shop temperature is currently about 68, 70 degrees, something like that. And it's probably in the low or mid 40s, I'm guessing, outside. I didn't check that yet. So currently 43 degrees outside. So not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see. Travis. Good evening, all. Good evening, Travis. One of my top patrons. Appreciate you. TJ Stang. Good evening, all from East Dublin, Georgia. Welcome, TJ. And Vincent Fitante. Hello, all from Frigid, New Hampshire. Looking forward to tonight's topics of discussion. Welcome, Vincent. In New Hampshire, yeah. No, you can keep all that cold weather with you. Don't bring it anywhere near us. Jiggy, getting jiggy with it. Evening all. Evening, Jiggy. David, the bowler hat guy. Good evening, everyone. Hello, Barry. Hello, David. And Roger, Hindsight 67, greetings from next door. Greetings, Raj. Oh, and Raj, I know we were talking about earlier, we're going to go pick up the Falcon this week. Going to get the Falcon. So I was just checking the weather, and it's looking good. I mean, it's looking good for the end of this week. So we'll make that arrangement and get the Falcon here. And oh, by the way, I know that I always name the projects, right? So we have the Fangold Fastback, we had the Crunchy Cobra Jet, we had the Mystique Mustang, Jade, a variety of names. So I'm thinking maybe, I don't know why, this hit me the other day. I was thinking of calling the Falcon the Falconator. I think I was at Wendy's, and I saw they had the Baconator sandwich, and I was like, the Falconator. So let me know what you all think of that. That may be what it becomes. I don't know. We'll see. Any other suggestions are welcomed. Clark. Hello, Barry. Hello, Clark. Whoa, wow, that bell rang perfect that time. That was weird. Robert, Infernal Craftsman. Evening all. A nice 67 tomorrow. Welcome, Robert. 67 is nice. Yeah, that's a good temperature. In the winter, that's a great temperature. Not, I know you'd rather have that all year round, I'm sure. Jerry is checking in. Howdy, Barry. Howdy, y'all. I pray y'all have some good car talk. Though our Buckeyes may have lost the other night, it can only mean we will win another national championship. Am I right, Terry? Okay. Well, welcome, Jerry. Glad you're here. And if they win, that's great. Any more sports, I just kind of give up on. It doesn't really matter anymore. Nandu, good evening, Barry, and everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's cold and snowy in North Carolina. North Carolina? I thought you were up in Pennsylvania. What are you doing in North Carolina? Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. I thought you were in Pennsylvania. Gerhard, good evening, Barry and everyone, or Barry and gang. Sorry, I saw your SEMA video earlier today. The best is the Brittany Blue Mustang. Yeah, that was a really nice car. I mean, personally, I'd have to go with the Kingpin, the Black 69 that the Ring Brothers made, but that car was really nice. That fastback was really well done. Steel Ponies Jeff. Hello, everyone. Barry, way too cold for December. Welcome, Jeff. Yeah. Well, I can't complain. It's mid 40s here in Georgia, so I know it's a lot colder in other places. Gerhard says next year you will have your own Mustang at SEMA. I don't know about that. It seems like a lot of work to get something nice enough to take there, and the effort you have to put in to make it happen. You know, the travel, the trailer, and all those things just seem a bit overwhelming to consider. It would be nice, but yeah, probably not going to happen. Roy V Restorations. Hey Barry, good evening. Good evening, sir. Glad you're here. Hope all is well. Rusty's Restoration. Hello Barry, and I'll give Barry a thumbs up. Thank you, Rusty. And Gerhard, do you have any experience TIG welding? I have limited experience TIG welding. I did training. I had a welding, I had taken a welding course, but I had taken that course in an effort to get the money out of my Army college fund. I had to finish doing something, and that was why I took the welding course. But in that course, I did obviously MIG and TIG and all those things, and I was okay with it, but it wasn't. I don't know. It's a finesse thing, and I've got really good control and fast with the MIG setup, so I just kind of gave up on doing TIG. So I have a little experience, but not enough to brag about. Rick Gain, you still considering the Plastic Coyote for a test fit? Maybe good to have new or now before front suspension is finally welded in. I'm still considering that. I have not committed to that, but it's probably something that needs to happen. And you're right, to a point. Like, the front suspension is not going to change. However it's designed to fit is how it's going to fit. But it would help and be beneficial to have that plastic engine and even the transmission thing that I've talked about before. This frame cross member, and I'll just show you real quick. This thing is designed to go basically in one location. So these outer notches out here draw it up into up to the frame rails, and then it has these mounts on it, and I don't know if those mounts were meant to be for the Coyote setup or not, but we also have a set of engine mounts themselves that may be incorporated. Like those, I don't know if those are designed for that purpose or if those are meant for like a standard engine. But the owner has provided me with the kit to mount the engine itself. So I'll be using that, I'm sure, later on. But it would be nice to have the plastic engine and the bolt together transmission thing to help with that. Dave Conville, good evening. Evening, Dave. He's up in New Jersey. Ed Cucciarella, hello all. It will be in the 80s tomorrow in Southern California. That sounds lovely. And since you brought that up, I think I'm making a trip. I think I'm making a trip to California. I have a friend who is a Mac Tools, sorry, Matt Coman. He's a Mac Tools distributor. And apparently there's a tool show in San Diego in February. And so he has offered me the chance to go with him to the tool show. So I said, yep, I'd be happy to go. So I'll probably give more details on that later on. I think it's the second week in February, I believe is what it is. But I'll be coming into San Diego. I've never been to San Diego. The only time I've been to California, I was in the Army, and that was not fun. So I'll be making a trip out there, and who knows? Maybe somebody will be in that area, and I can meet you. I don't know, but glad you're here, Ed. Annette Scott, good evening, Barry. Good evening, Annette. Glad you're here. Gig'em Garage, Kevin Barth here. Hope to have my 65 Mustang Fastback done by Christmas. You've only got, I don't know, 2 weeks? 3 weeks at most. I don't know what today's the 8th, so well, good luck. Good luck. Art Man, hello from Minnesota. Got the wood stove going in the garage. Might be close to comfortable by the time you sign off. Yeah, yeah. Those things are great. You know, to have. Um, there we go. So, yeah, I remember we used to heat um, my dad's garage, the shop, with it was an oil burner furnace, and we could like burn wood in there. You could do oil, and so it was great to have that. Travis, yeah, I just saw one comment that I deleted, so um, yeah, gonna have some maybe I don't know. It's been a while since we've had clowns trying to get in, but I'm glad. Thank you, Roger. Uh, David says I think this light is better. Okay, yeah, the other light was kind of up here, up high, and coming down at an angle. So I hope it works. Richard Vogel, what gauge metal are the pieces you welded onto Fangled today? That's a good question. The let me answer that in a couple different ways. One is I had to modify based on the design parameters of the kit. There's a mating flange for the outer frame rail and the kick up that join together where the shock tower would be. And that material, the original frame rail thickness, is 14 gauge. And so when I cut that out and welded that back together with like, say, button welds, that was 14 gauge. And then the plates that I'm welding in are 1/8 inch. So all the plates that go around the frame rail are 1/8 inch. And then, of course, the other section here is like 1/4 inch. So all that's, I mean, it all welds so nice, but 1/8 inch for the plates around the perimeter. Roger says you're welcome, Travis. Okay, so Roger must have caught somebody. Thank you, Roger. Gerhard, -10 here in Ontario, Canada. Oh, yeah, you can keep that. No, thank you, sir. David says you should call the Falcon Mad Max. Yeah, I think that name's been used before for something. I don't know if that would work, but that's not a bad idea. Let's see. Jerry says sports hasn't given up on you, Bear. Yeah. I don't get me started on I don't want to talk about how it's all rigged and blah blah blah. I can't say college is, but any pro sport, I don't believe any of it. There's too much money to be made. Nandu moved to North Carolina for work. Okay, well, great. So you were in Pennsylvania, so I was right about that. But I hope everything's going well for you in North Carolina. Terry's talking to Jerry. I thought, though I would have hoped for a 12-0 season. Yeah, that's usually what I mean. Ideally, that's what everybody would like to have, but somebody has to pay the price. Clark says there's already a Falconator on YouTube. Well, that's not good. I have to come up with another one, another name of some sort. Jerry says it would have been nice. That's for sure. Michael Peglerini, evening all, started back on a 65. Had to walk away for a short time. Rethink my game plan. Yeah. And that's kind of what I already knew what I had to do as far as putting the front end together for the fastback. But I also knew all the other stuff around it, especially after we delivered the Cobra Jet. Because when that left, there was a bunch of leftover pieces. And I had saved stuff in boxes, and I knew I didn't want any of that stuff to stay. So all that had to go with it, and that really helped me get started on the snowball effect of getting rid of things, And it's a good to do. It's good to do that. We hang on to stuff far too long, and I know there's probably some things that are going to come back and say, "Oh, I had one of those and I threw it away," but uh, it helps to have a clean space. David Wright, good evening all. Barry, any tips on drill bits for drilling plug welds? Having trouble keeping them sharp. Um, you know, I do have a recommendation now. I see Robert has responded, and he says cobalt bits for the plug welds and oil if you can. Otherwise, cheap bits and toss them, or good bits and sharpen them. Spot and plug welds are very hard steel. Yeah. So, um, let me grab something. See if I have a good reference, because the let's see, company. I don't know if I have the name of the drill bits. And good drill bits aren't cheap. I mean, really good drill bits aren't cheap. So this particular one is Hertel, I think. Hertel, I think is what it is. Um, these drill bits that I have are really more industrial. Now, um, availability, I don't know. Like Robert's saying, you get some good cobalt bits. Um, it's you get what you pay for. Let's put it that way. So it's easy to go. Let's go to Harbor Freight or whatever, and you buy cheap bits. You get cheap results. And the more expensive the bits are, obviously, the more durable and long lasting they are. Now, some of these drill bits that I've used these literally hundreds of times. They hold up, and I'm not just playing when I drill. I'm making plenty of good holes, but that's all I can really say is get good quality drill bits. Um, there's no way around it. And like Robert's saying, you can get the cheap ones, and you just get a lot of them and burn through them. I mean, that's what happens. But spend the money on good drill bits, and don't get in a hurry. A lot of people make the mistake when they're trying to drill. They think, "Oh, I'll just wide open on the drill bit and just run it right through." Well, I could tell you, I've, and I'm not kidding, I have probably drilled at least 500,000 holes. That is my guess. At least 500,000 holes working for 30 years on airplanes. And not only that, but what I do here and everywhere else. And I have developed a third sense of drill action. So when I'm drilling, I can almost tell you exactly when that drill is going to break through the hole or create the hole, finish it out. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's like a third sense where I'm drilling and I can feel something or whatever that gives me a sensation that I know it's about to break through. Now, whenever I'm drilling, I am not just wide open on the drill motor. I put a lot of pressure on, and I will slowly add speed, but I won't go fast. I mean, medium speed on a drill, and you can even vary that speed by putting how much pressure you push, because that drill is going to want to keep turning, but it may turn at a slower pace while you're pushing on it, if that makes sense. But I know I've seen a lot of people, they just go full tilt and expect to drill right through something, and in the process, they're creating a lot of heat and ruining the drill bit. So slower speed, good pressure, take your time, and a good quality drill bit. That's really all I can say. I can't point to one specific brand, but this is what I happen to have right here in my hands. Good question. Jeff checking in, NorrisNet, Just saying, hey, glad you're here, Jeff. Let's see, Richland Fabrication. I too am gathering parts and taking advantage of lower pricing this winter. New carpet, trunk divider, and new windshield. Excellent. That's the way to do it. Travis says, I like Griffin or Falco. Or Maltese. Maybe. I don't know. I got to come up with something. Richland, I bought spot weld cutters that look like mini hole saws, reversible. Yeah, I think I've seen those, but I've never used them. Jerry says, I was thinking Falco too, and Richard says Falco was a singer from the 80s. Yes, he was. What did he sing? Rock Me Amadeus, I think. Was that right? Was that the only one song that he had? Amadeus, Amadeus, Amadeus. I don't know. Anyway. So the video that I put out this past Friday was the SEMA video. Now, I'd used two different cameras for that video set, and one of them was my Insta360. And I was trying to use that to get, a full 360 view of what was going on. But unfortunately, I don't use that camera often enough to know exactly what features I was using. So I ended up having it on time lapse, and it just turned out horrible. And I didn't have the view right, and I just said, you know what? I can't use any of that footage. It's not going to help. So then I used the GoPro, and I realized I probably didn't have the stabilizer thing on it, the image stabilizer. I think I had it on fixed. So if you look at the video, you'll see a little bit of movement, even though I was trying to keep the camera steady. It's just, you get caught up trying to do these things and trying to make something happen, and it just didn't work the way I wanted. But it still turned out to be a good video. I had the Bangin headlights on there. That was a great segment. The SS lines, the stainless steel fuel lines, were the guys used my videos to help them put together their car for SEMA. I thought that was really cool. And then I'd also run into, I didn't make any video of it, but a guy, Amarante Detailing, who is on Instagram, and he's in Uruguay. And I found out he was there, and I was like, I got to go find him. So I did. And it was fun. It was fun. But there's always so many things to see and do. And I didn't even get any footage really outside. I mean, I tried to do something with the Insta360, but I didn't have the camera set right. But there was so much stuff that was outside. And then they had a section where they were, I don't know, doing burnouts and whatever, drifting and all that sort of thing. All the big trucks, that nobody can drive or use for anything. The great big trucks that are like 10 feet in the air and drive shafts are falling off of them. Yeah, they had a bunch of those things. So I didn't even film any of that because I just don't have any interest in it. I think it's okay if they want to do that, but that's not my thing. Richard, Millennium Falcon was already taken by Star Wars. Maybe there's a play on words there. Maybe. Hadn't thought about that. May have to look into that one a little bit harder. Clark says, how about you call it Blue Falcon and paint it red? Okay. I'm not going to paint it at all. That's the thing. This thing's going to be, but I'll give you a bell for that. Yeah, I'm not going to paint it. I don't want it pretty. I want it to look like an old race car, and ugly is fine with me. And I don't even want to go down that road to make it all fancy. Travis says, no coffee? Actually, no. I had picked up, gone to get something to eat today, and ended up with tea. So tea it is. I decided I'm not going to make any coffee. I have plenty of tea in this mug. So yeah, it's coffee and cars and tea tonight. Clark Clifford, or maybe Falcon Dave. No, that's not going to work either. Robert says, I've had hit and miss luck with the little hole saw style. They can also buy the ones that the air spot weld drill uses, but they need oil, low speeds, and high feed pressure. By hand, they don't last. Yeah. Yeah. Robert says, aluminum Falcon. I want it to make some sense. Steve Reed, my grandfather, had a set of drill bits. I ended up with them. They're 70 years old and still sharp. They were called diamond drill bits. Yeah, those are pretty serious. Yeah. Rick Gain, call the Falcon Chewbacca. He's the one that controlled it. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Richard's laughing at. Okay. David Bullhart guy, being former military, you don't want to put Blue Falcon on anything. No. No, you don't. We're not going to go down that trail. Richland Fabrication. How about a raccoon tail on the antenna and call it Falcon? No. No, that's not going to work either. That's not going to work either. Clark says polonium Falcon. So we just got to get on elements now. Go through the elements. Molybdenum. How about molybdenum? That sounds better. Molybdenum Falcon. Titanium Falcon. Go to exotic metals then, right? Gerhard says Falconator. That's kind of what I had initially. I was thinking of. But somebody said there's already a Falconator on YouTube. Hey, Macho Man, at least once a month I have a class on a tool truck on how to use drill bits slow and easy with the pressure and a little lubricant. Yep. Yeah, it's always like that. You don't go fast. You don't run those drills fast. You'll make them hot and they'll go dull. TJ saying, call it foul. I get it. Artman says, Kirk, LOL. Who's laughing? Something. Terry Keithley, why not call it Henry, rough around the edges? You know what? I like that. I do like that because, Henry and I both, we drove stock cars. My dad drove a stock car. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not a bad idea, actually. I kind of like that. I might just say maybe call it Old Henry or something like that, or I'll consider that. I will consider that. That's a good. I like that. I do. Artman says Kirk Cousins joke. Oh, I'm not sure what we're referring to. Richard says the Henrynator. No. No, don't like that one. Dave Convoy, you could always call it the Dirty Bird. Yeah, that's probably not a good choice either. Rusty's Restoration, the Iron Falcon, after all the Iron Man sightings. That's kind of cool too. That is kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, we're going through all the metals, right? It's iron, steel, titanium. Yeah, there's a lot of choices out there. Travis says, name for your Mach 1, make it a girl's name. Oh, I don't know about that one. There's a reason I went with, my Mach 1. And that's even my tag that I had this tag made for it. My Mach 1, right? Because it's mine. It is my car. Art says Atlanta Falcons $180 million backup quarterback. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Call it Kirk. Okay, I get it. Jerry says the Buckeye Falcon. No. Clark says Confusium Falcon. I don't know. If we're going with metals, molybdenum is really good because you'd have people that couldn't say it because there's people struggle with that word apparently. Molybdenum. Yeah. It's a fact. Okay. Keep coming up with ideas. I appreciate the input. But as I said, I'm working on a video right now for the front TCI suspension. And I'll point out, maybe I can angle the camera over just a little bit. So I intentionally left the core support on this thing loose. And it has worked so well because, when you're trying to get into a space to work on something, that core support is in the way. Now, what I will end up doing is when it comes time, and I've already test fit the cross member up in the middle, up in the middle section. I've already test fit that up in there. But when it comes time to actually weld everything back together, I'll set the core support in place, making sure that it's in the right dimension so that everything, I know it's not going to change. I've already test fitted the frame centerpiece, and nothing's moving. Those frame rails are not moving. So these other boxes over here, like those are the front disc brake setup, and the lower control arms are sitting here on top. And then in these other boxes, there's the coilover shocks and calipers and different things. And then everything else that's on the roll around cart right now is the front and rear sway bar, and then the center shaft that goes to the differential, because it has that like torque arm that goes to the rear differential, and then that cage system with frame connectors that ties everything together underneath there. So the plan at this point is to get the front suspension, get everything where it needs to be, and then be able to lift that car off of the boat trailer. I'm trying to plan things out carefully because I already know that the Falcon will be picking it up either, I think, on Thursday, if maybe Friday, but one of those 2 days. So I have to get the trailer for my buddy, and the car does not have a rear end under it, no rear differential. So we'll be able to get it onto the trailer, probably put some old tires and wheels underneath it or something. I did when I was over at the guy's place where it's at, I put the front suspension under it so that I think his picture I put the front suspension under it and wheels, so at least that part will be on the trailer as a roller part. But the rear, I don't have anything. And I started doing some research on it, and what I found was these Falcons have the leaf springs are only 2 inches wide, little narrow leaf springs. I don't have any of those leaf springs. I have Mustang leaf springs, but I don't have any. I'm not going to have 2-inch wide leaf springs for that Falcon. I do have a 4-lug rear end that I could put under it, but I didn't have any way to attach those things. So one idea that I played with, I have some 2-inch square tubing that is part of um, the carrier assembly for a Dynacorn floor pan. So if you've seen other videos that I've done, they build a cage that that floor pan sits in, and it's made out of 2-inch square tubing. It's pretty light duty, but it's enough to be able to move it around. And I had actually thought about taking some of that square tubing and making not really leaf springs, but mount points to where I could mount a piece of 2-inch square tubing to those locations where the leaf spring would have gone, and then just set that four-lug rear end underneath it and clamp it all together and be able to roll it around. But I can't fabricate stuff when the car is an hour and a half away. I don't want to create something and know that it may or may not fit. So ideally, what I want to do is be able to get the front suspension taken care of on Fangled. Be able to pull it out, because I'm going to have to back the other trailer in here to get the Falcon off of that trailer. I'll probably have to use a lift to get it up, and then either, like you see here, I have my body cart already assembled. I'll set that whole car on the body cart, and that'll be good enough. I can then roll it out of here and put it back up in my house garage and worry about it later. But that's kind of the plan. I got to have stuff organized so that I can do some shuffling and make everything work. Let's see, Michael, why did you go with the coilover shocks? Well, it's a whole kit. So it's going to have, this is a TCI suspension system. So it's got the coilover shocks in the front and the rear. Wilwood disc brakes all the way around. I mean, it's a really nice kit. In fact, let me grab one of those rotors, because I got to show you this. Let me grab one of these rotors. Hang on. Check this out. Look at that. All shiny. And this, I'm going to say, probably weighs 25 or 30 pounds, my guess. And that's with the spindle and everything already attached. That's a whole assembly. So that's all in one hand. And that's pretty good. I mean, that's really cool. This is all aluminum here in the center. And man, I'm looking forward to hanging this on the car and getting this all hooked up. So pretty cool setup. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be it's going to have, like I said, coilovers front and back, sway bar front and back, that whole inner structure that stiffens everything. It's a really nice setup. Robert, the benefit of Fords is they use trailer bolt pattern rims, so spare trailer tires fit. Yeah. Yep. Clark, are those leaf springs the same length from bolt to bolt? I can't remember right now. I looked it up and trying to figure out the comparison between like a Mustang and a Falcon. And I got the dimensions from the center bolt to the front was like 26. Center bolt to the rear, I think, was 28. I'm speculating here. I can't remember. It was like 54 inches, I think. But again, I don't know. I could probably fabricate something, but it's just not worth the effort. I just want to get it on the trailer, get the thing here, and then I can make something or whatever I decide to do, because that car is going to end up with a 4-link suspension under it anyway. And, you know, it doesn't matter if I have leaf springs for it or not. Richard says Falcon Daddy. No. Robert, I'm planning on going with the 13-inch Cobra rotors on the 66. Sadly, not that light. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those things are incredible. Really cool. Travis says, after Fangold, are you working on your Mach 1? Um, that's a good question. And and I say that because I have other people that I've already they're already after me to work on their cars. Now, what I may end up doing is getting some of the work done on my Mach 1 in the meantime. I don't know. Um, it's hard for right now. I'm juggling a lot of things in my mind because part of me wants to build that Falcon first, simply because it's a rustic, um, just beater driver car. That's all. That's all it needs to be. And part of me wants to do that first. When I get to my Mach 1, I really want to make it as right as possible. I may do some tweaks to it, but I don't. Um, I don't make. It's not a priority to me right now. Just having it in my possession kind of makes me happy, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where I'm at with the process. But what I was thinking of doing with the Falcon, if the Hot Rod Power Tour announces their schedule, I thought it would be kind of cool to build the Falcon in the time limit for when they may be able to come through Atlanta, right? Because they do like a Atlanta, they drive north up to I don't know where, somewhere, but they have a a route that they follow, and I thought it would be kind of cool if I could do it. Again, the Fangold is the first priority, but I can work on the Falcon on the weekends or whatever, fill in time that way. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to create the Falcon and then take it on the power tour and make people mad because it's gonna have a Chevy engine in it. People are gonna go, what? Yeah. Richard, don't you have a Camaro to build? Yeah, I do. But the Falcon, I don't know. It just really appeals to me. Because when I get the Camaro done, it's going to get sold. I'm not going to drive that car. I didn't buy it with the intent of finishing it. The intent was just to get it together and then sell it to somebody who could finish it. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm not really. It's not a priority. Rick says, I heard Motor Trend shut down the Hot Rod Power Tour and they won't be doing it anymore. Oh, I have not heard that yet. I've been researching and they said that typically they announce the schedule in January. Like the first week of January, they announce a schedule. But I have not heard them officially being shut down. If they do, that's fine. Not a priority, but just an idea. Michael says, what about the Great Race? I really hadn't even considered that before. I do have somebody who follows me on this channel who has plans to put a Cougar, I believe, in the Great Race. And he's been after me for a while now to do work on that car. And I just haven't had time or been able to. But I haven't really considered that. So it may just end up being, I don't know, maybe cruising the coast or something. Who knows? But I think I really want to make it, to me, a fun car and just not worried about being perfect, not worried about people going, "Oh, I don't like this, I don't like that." I'm gonna go, I don't care. I just want a car that I can drive around and not worry about it getting scratched or wet or, you know, and like I had the '55 Chevy that I had. I love driving that thing around. You know, I didn't care at all. It rattled and made a lot of noise, um, and that was the other thing I thought about too. I have on the '55 Chevy, um, I have a tag hanging on the wall that was last used in 2018, and that tag says rattle can. Now, it's RATLCAN. And I thought about using that on the uh, for the Falcon. I thought about using rattle can because that's really how it is. It's a rattle can. It's not meant to be perfect. It's you know. So I've thought about that too, but I do kind of like the Henry idea. I may consider that. Vincent, since you're putting in a Chevy engine, call it Transfender. No, I can't do that. Can't do that. Richard, what thickness metal can your yes water handle? Is it set up for 120 or 240 volt? It is set up for 240, but it has a 110 adapter. So everything I've been doing so far has been on the 110 side of it. So it has a 240 plug that you can plug a 110 into, and that limits how thick you can go. So when I want to do heavier welding, I can plug it into the 240 setup and increase amperage to do what I need. But I think for what I'm doing right now, I know I don't see it being a problem handling any of this welding that I'm doing at the moment. It'll burn it in nice and be not really just fine. Clark says, Barry, you know this is going to snowball into way more than just a driver. Well, I don't think so. I hope not. I really just, I mean, it comes with, it's got a roll bar hoop in it, right? So it has, or well, no, in it, it's got one with it. So it has a rear hoop and two back struts and a cross piece. So it's not going to have a back seat, the way I see it. It's going to have a, I'm going to put the roll bar in it. And I was even looking at some of the trim on the inside thinking, oh, this is a little rusty looking. Oh, you know what? I don't care. That's really where I'm trying to keep my mind on this. Now, they've already done a bunch of mods to it. So it's like, to me, it's not going to go back to an original car unless somebody wants to dump a bunch in it. They've cut out the quarter panels. They have cut modified the firewall up front to make room for the tires to turn. The bigger tires are going to go on it. So they've already modified that. They've cut open the cowl because he was going to blast it and then put in, pour 15 or something. So, there's things that may get addressed and there's things that may just be left alone. But ideally, I just want to put it together and put an engine in it. In fact, I've got that old Chevy 350 sitting in the back that I've ordered a few parts for it, to make it a better engine. But yeah, I definitely don't want it to be all shiny and pretty. Rusty says the bow tie Falcon. That would probably get some people's interest. Michael Pagliarini, I have a customer that did it maybe 2 years ago, did it in a 30s Packard. Yeah. That would be fun. Clark says, call it drag queen. No. No, we're not going down that path. Richard, Rust-Oleum Falcon. Yeah, that could be. Richland Fabrication, I think they make a 2 to 3 inch shackle for conversion. I'm sure they probably do, but this car already has. Um, I mean, I'll make a video on this car when I get it, to a certain point, but they've already modified it. I mean, there's already a crossbar in the back with holes cut through the transition panel for the coilovers that are going to come through it. You're right. I mean, it's already been customized. And see, that's the thing. I I couldn't make myself buy one of these Falcons that was nice. Like it was straight, had decent, good bones to it, let's say. I couldn't make myself buy one of these and cut it up and make it into something else. I couldn't do that. But since this one has already been hacked, now it just opens the doors for me. Now I don't care. I can do whatever I want, and I'm not going to feel bad about it at all. It's kind of like I would love to have a 1930 or 31 Model A pickup, but I want one that's a hot rod. I don't want it original, and I could not. If I ever got a hold of one that was an original Model A pickup, I would keep it original. I wouldn't change a thing. But if it's something that somebody else has already mangled, then I wouldn't have any problem with it. I'm fine. So that's where I'm at with that. I don't have any problem with it being cut up. Rick Gaines says, go with the trend. Put that LS you have in the Falcon will also increase the YouTube views. Yeah, I've thought about that. I've thought about the LS, but I don't know. I like the simplicity of the old Chevy 350. I really do. It's trustworthy. It's simple. I know the LS, they got everything out there for that. But I feel like I'd have to invest in more stuff to make the LS work. Now, that's not saying it couldn't go in later. I'm thinking of it, just build it with the 350 and drive it. Don't overthink it. Is kind of where my mind is at the moment. Steve Reed, Falcon recreation. Yeah. Clark. No, I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even going to say that. Hey, you know what? I was looking through my pictures that I had the other day, and I forgot about this one. And everybody should have this in their file. Because that's how that's how we all react whenever we have something we fixed. Like I did it, and I forgot that I had that picture in there, so thought I'd share that one. But I was talking about. I don't know if I still have a picture of my brother's car in here. I might have deleted it. But where's it at? Yeah, so look. This is something my brother made. Okay? That's like a, I don't know, 69 Fairlane or something. I don't even know what it was. Put it on a 4-wheel drive chassis, and he drove that car like every day up in Kentucky. I mean, we have a history of making some crazy stuff, and that was one of his creations, and everybody knew who was coming when he drove that thing down the road. Rusty, that's how I feel about my 68 that's been cut up for a drag car. Now I can do whatever I want. Yeah, I mean that's basically how I'm approaching it. TJ saying, hey, Barry, you said it, call it mangled. That's funny because I labeled the Fangled Fastback, and that's where I was thinking, oh, that probably would have been a good name for the Falcon, but it could be mangled. Fangled and mangled. It could be. Mangalicious. Okay. All right. I think we're all having some good chuckles here, and I think it's time for me to go go in the house and get something to eat. Um, but yeah, keep following along. I'm making great progress on the front suspension on Fangled, and right now it's going really smooth. Like the welder's doing exactly what I wanted to do. The pieces I'm having to do slight modifications, which is normal. You know, nothing ever fits exactly like it was intended, but it's uh, um, it's coming together very well. In fact, I should have probably tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest. I'll have everything. Should have everything welded. Well, let's put it that way. Probably tomorrow I should have everything welded. Now there's still some grinding to do and some finish work and stuff, but I should have all that stuff welded in place, and then I can start looking at the getting it off of the trailer. But I don't want to do that just yet. Can't rush it. So okay, that'll be it for tonight. I do plan to be back next Monday, the 15th, and we'll see what we can talk about on that live stream. But don't forget, give a thumbs up, leave comments on my videos, leave thumbs up on my videos, help keep this thing moving. And I want to thank you for being here. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.